Ski moms, we know you worked hard to make the holidays magical. Now let's talk about taking things off your to-do list. Picture this, a ski holiday with no stress, no hassle, just you, your family, and the perfect home away from home. With Vrbo, planning your winter escape is a breeze. Choose from cozy cabins, spacious chalets, or ski-in, ski-out condos, whatever suits your family's vibe. Forget cramped hotel rooms. Vrbo gives you room to spread out, cook your own meals, and unwind after a long day on the slopes. On my recent trip to Stowe, Vermont, we found the perfect escape, a stunning modern treehouse booked through Vrbo. It was everything we dreamed of, tucked away in a serene setting with clean, light-filled spaces and a gourmet kitchen that made our stay unforgettable. Vrbo has an incredible selection of quality homes, often with 3 or more bedrooms, so everyone can relax and spread out. And the location's unbeatable. Our treehouse was just minutes from Stowe's slopes, Spruce Peak Village, and even world-class Nordic skiing at the Trapp Family Lodge. And with options near the best ski resorts, your dream vacation is just a few clicks away. Plus, you can search for properties with fireplaces, hot tubs, or even a game room for the kids. Download the Vrbo app or check out vrbo.com for trusted winter getaways and plan a stay everyone will love.
Welcome to Season 4 of the Ski Moms Podcast. We're your hosts, Nicole and Sarah. Hey Ski Moms, it's time to elevate your après game with the new Ski Moms Après Ski Cocktail Book. Packed with delicious recipes, this book has everything you need to mix up cozy winter cocktails and refreshing sips for celebrating after a day on the slopes. From warm spice classics to creative new favorites, there's something for every ski mom. And even a few mocktails, grab your copy now and bring a little extra magic to your next après ski gathering. You can get your copy at theskimoms.co or on Amazon. Cheers to good times and great snow.
The Ski Moms are so excited to talk to Tori Collins. She is a mother of 4 and a private and exclusive ski teacher who specializes in teaching toddlers. That's right, toddlers. You can follow along her journey and get a lot of tips and helpful advice from her at tori.ski on Instagram. And we are so excited to have you joining us today. Welcome, Tori.
Thank you, Nicole. I'm really honored to be here today to share my mission and my message to getting children skiing as young as possible with you guys.
We always like to start from the beginning. Let's hear your ski origin story. Where and when did you learn to ski?
My ski journey actually first started with ice skating, believe it or not. I started ice skating from a very young age, and I took private lessons every weekend. My mum and dad would take me, but it just never felt like it was for me. It just wasn't fast enough. And then at age 6 years old, I discovered skiing. And I remember, I grew up in England, and we don't have mountains in England, but we do, when I was a child, we do have dry ski slopes. So I'm stood at the bottom of this dry ski slope. And to me, this looked like ice skating, but downhill. And I was so up for giving that a go. I just couldn't wait to get on skis and try that.
Okay, wait. Dry skiing? Tell me more about this. I think I've seen one Instagram video on this, but I need to know more.
I don't actually know that much about dry slope skiing myself. I just know that that's where my journey started.
Okay.
So I first experienced skiing on a dry ski slope in
No
England.
snow. No, just
No snow. It's like these squares of carpet. And this is how I started my first introductions to skiing. And as I progressed with my skiing and I got better and better at it, and I started moving up the hill and I started to love skiing even more and more, my ski teacher told me the best news that I'd ever heard in my whole life. And this was that dry skiing wasn't just the only kind of skiing that there was, that mountains existed and they were covered in snow. So 6-year-old Tori is thinking of this magical winter wonderland with penguins and polar bears and trees that I can ski through. And I was just like, I want to try that. How can I get on a mountain and try snow skiing, please?
It sounds like you liked it right away, both the speed and the feeling of sliding.
Absolutely. It suits my personality that I just love to go fast and I just love speed.
How did your skiing progress? And how now you're in France? Am I correct? That's where you're based now?
Right now I'm in France. So from the 6-year-old Tori on the dry ski slope, I then joined a race team because I actually come from a family who don't ski themselves. So my mum and dad don't ski and they didn't really know how to support me. So I managed to get onto a ski race team. And with that ski race team from a young age, I managed to get into competitive ski racing and travel around Europe and spend as much of my winters in the mountains as I possibly could. I absolutely loved and lived for ski racing as a child.
What was the feeling of competing versus the feeling of free skiing? How did those two kind of things live in your brain?
Actually, as a child, I ski raced and that was my focus. And free skiing was almost something that I struggled with. I love to go fast. I love to get on my edges. I love to race and compete. And as soon as my ski coaches started taking me in the bumps and on off piste, it was like a whole new world to me. And I actually didn't really know how to ski it as a child. It was a skill that I learned coming into my ski instructing exams as an adult was how to free ski for sure.
So as you were learning to teach others, you were learning yourself.
For sure. When you're learning to become a ski teacher, you learn so much for yourself at the same time.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that's on my skiing bucket list is to take one of those introductory teaching courses. I think it would be just so informative and remind me of what it was like to learn for those in our community who are just getting going. And I think it'd be really helpful for many of us to get that vocabulary and really heighten our own skills through going through the process.
Absolutely. When you're learning to become a ski teacher, a massive part of it is your own personal development and your own personal performance, as alongside learning how to be an efficient and effective ski teacher.
You know, you are a racer, you've experienced some success, and then I know you now as this expert instructor who really focuses on a very specific age frame and a very specific set of skills. And I wanted to connect the dots between how did Tori get to this new point from where she started? Was it motherhood that got you there?
So while being a ski racer myself, I experienced some coaches that I really got along with and some coaches that really didn't help me as much as I'd like them to. And I knew that I wanted to go into the ski teaching world myself once I'd finished being a ski racer. So I knew that I wanted to become the best version of that I could be for the people that were learning from me. So from Tori, the ski racer, I then started helping out with, I'm talking about 14, 15 years old here. I started helping out with the younger kids groups and the development squads within my own race team. And that's where my love for starting to teach children to ski really ignited. And I just wanted to be the best that I could possibly be for them. I wanted to learn as much about the ski industry that I possibly could before I was actually old enough to qualify as a ski teacher myself. So age 15, 16, 17 years old, before I could qualify as a ski teacher, I was working as a ski technician, a lift attendant, a ski boot fitter, anything that I could to learn as much about this ski industry as I possibly could. Then at age 18, I was able to qualify as a ski race coach. And I then became that ski coach that I used to have for myself. And I traveled all around Europe, training these young athletes and working with them, taking them to races, doing what I knew best, that what I'd done my whole childhood. And I absolutely loved it. This then led me on to developing my qualifications even further outside the ski coaching world and more into the ski instructing world. And to be able to do that, I had to learn lots of other skills. So learning other disciplines within the ski industry. So I learned to become a snowboard instructor, which was just something I did for fun. I learned to become a ski teacher for the disabled. And this really enlightened me to realize that if you're a ski teacher for the disabled, you're enabling anybody with any disability to be able to join in with skiing. And this made me realize that skiing is for everybody out there. And if skiing is for everybody, then surely it means it's for our youngest skiers too. Why should our toddlers be left in the nursery or left at home with mum or dad when they can be involved in this amazing sport too? So I was actually quite a young mum in my early 20s. I had a son and I really wanted to involve him in skiing too and starting him from as young as possible. And we're talking 2007 here. So there was no Instagram to inspire me. There was no Tori.ski out there to help show me that it was possible. And in fact, nobody that I knew in the ski industry was putting children under the age of 3 years old on skis. It just wasn't done. And my son is 11 months old. I'm on a ski holiday in Chamonix and I'm wanting to get him involved with this holiday too, not just being here, but I love skiing so much. I wanted to share it with my son so much in any way that I possibly could. So of course I'm holding him going up the button lift and I'm carrying him down the hill and I'm like, wee, like skiing's so fun. But also I managed to acquire a pair of tiny little 60 centimeter plastic skis. I feel like in the year 2007, I searched the world for these plastic skis. They weren't widely available. And no, like I said, nobody else was doing it. Nobody was there to inspire me. So as I'm out on the hill with my 11-month-old son, just holding him on a pair of skis and just sharing with him this huge passion in life that I've had since age 6, I felt almost a bit embarrassed and almost a bit like maybe I shouldn't be doing this and questioning myself.
I mean, I had my oldest daughter, we put her in the tiniest skis and boots I could find, but she was 18 months. So 11 months is definitely young. But you do hear that a lot of these very accomplished ski racers that we've interviewed over the years, and a lot of them, the parents have figured out some way to get them sliding, to your point, because it's just what the family did. And they really wanted to include the youngest members of the family into it. But I will say it is rare, and it's usually these families that are either racing families or they're steeped in ski tradition. It's not the weekend warriors or the people who, do these occasional ski trips. And I really love that your messaging is that, it is possible for the youngest members, if you're creating these ski holidays and these ski memories, to be included beyond going to the daycare.
I'm finding that more and more today that the equipment is getting better, that people are getting the message more that their children can be involved in this too. And I think that we're seeing a shift in this ski industry, that you can ski before you are 3, absolutely can be involved in it in a safe and fun way.
When did you teach somebody who wasn't your child at that young age? When did you connect the dots beyond your own family?
Okay, so in Europe, we have to have a ski teaching diploma to be able to teach here. And this is a very long process. And it took me personally 10 years. And I managed to qualify for my ski diploma at age 27, which is fairly young. During that process, we learn all sorts of things like mountain safety, teaching qualifications. We have to pass a European speed test, which means we have to ski within a very small percentage of the fastest skier in the world in a GS race. So we've got to be very accomplished all round in all areas of skiing. And once I got this qualification, it was just a huge honor to be able to now teach in France as a British female. And I wanted to make the most of this that I possibly could. So I started out working with a French ski school rather than a British ski school. I wanted to know exactly how it works here in this country and how they do it. So I'm working for this French ski school, and I have no say over who books me because it's a French ski school and I'm working for them. And I'm finding that nearly every single family who's booking me is booking me for their children, because I'm the only female in the ski school, because maybe 9 out of 10 ski teachers are male. So I'm the only female in this ski school, and I'm also the only mother in this ski school. So people are phoning up this ski school and they're saying, we want our child to be with a woman and we want her to preferably be a mum if possible. And of course, that was always me. So I was always getting put with the children. So of course, if you're always skiing with children, you're getting better and better and better at it. And over time, you start to become more prepared for it. You've got the sweets in your pocket. You've got the toys in your bag. You're ready for children at all times. You've got the edgy wedgie in your side pocket. You're ready to go with children. So of course, over this time, I learned a lot about skiing with other people's children. From there, I then went on to a more international and more corporate ski school. So I'm working more with companies and less with children. And somehow I start to realize that even with this corporate international ski school, families are still getting in there and they're still trying to book me because I'm a female and I'm British and I'm a mum. So I'm like, okay, I need to start setting myself up independently, and I can do this on my own now without a ski school. So,
Yeah, and cut out the middleman so you can pick and choose your clients more, and you can make more money. Frankly, you get to keep a higher percentage of your bookings. Do you teach in both English and French, Tori?
I do, although I prefer to only teach children in French. I feel that once you're skiing with adults and it's more technical and it's not my mother tongue, it's best to be teaching in my own native language.
Okay.
But with teaching children, I can teach children in French or in English. So once I set up my own independent company, Tori Ski, which is what we can do here in Europe, and I understand it's very different to you guys in the States, is that we can set ourselves up independently as ski teachers in Europe, and we can either set up our own ski schools or just work as an independent in your ski resort. So I've set up Tori.ski as my own self, and the product is basically me. I am the product with all the experience that I've gained from teaching my own son 18 years ago to ski as a toddler, to then becoming his race coach because he became a ski racer like me, to then working my way through the ski diploma and then getting experience in ski schools, to then having my own business. I've now recently had 3 more children, and this is where the story really started to unfold with me becoming a toddler ski teacher, because this time I have a new son, and I now know that getting my oldest son on skis at such a young age was such a benefit to him, such a benefit to our family, and such a blessing to our lives, that I am absolutely doing it again with baby number 2. So baby number 2 comes along, and my oldest son is 12 years old by then. So I've already got 12 years of experience of being a ski mum. And I learned so much about all the equipment involved. And then I get pregnant pretty soon after with baby number 3. And this time I know exactly what I'm doing. And we get him skiing super early and super quick. And guess what? The next baby comes along, baby number 4, pretty soon after. So I had these 3 babies within 3 years of each other. So,
Did you ski through the pregnancies of all of these?
so this is a really good question. And it's a question that I get asked a lot is, did I ski through my pregnancies? Because I planned my pregnancies really, really well so that I got pregnant right at the start of the ski season. And it meant that throughout the ski season, by the end of it, I was 5 months, 6 months maximum pregnant. So it meant that I only had a small baby belly. And during this time, the baby is very much protected in the pelvis. And I felt safe to do this myself for these reasons. Because 1, it's my job, it's my lifestyle, and it's what I do. 2, I only skied with toddlers and children during this time. 3, I only skied on in tranquil zones, so on beginner hills and in areas and in times that I knew that it would be quiet and safe to do so. And 4, I'm skiing on my own mountain that I know really, really well. I know where all the hazard areas are. I know how to keep myself safer there. And for sure, I am taking a risk. And I absolutely understand that for those first 5 months of each of those 3 pregnancies, I was taking a risk. But we weigh up risks in life, don't we? And this was a risk that I was willing to take. It also meant that by the time the baby was born in September, August and September, my babies were born. It meant that I had a bit of time to get going again before the next ski season. So I did 6 ski seasons back to back, 1 pregnant, 1 breastfeeding, 1 pregnant, 1 breastfeeding, 1 pregnant, 1 breastfeeding, like this.
So I love that your story was that you timed it out and that you were really thoughtful about it. But it is a really personal decision between a woman and her caregiving team to make. And I love that you also described your skiing choices as going to the tranquil zones. I think we really need to recognize that you were so thoughtful and decisive about where and when you were going to ski. I do want to talk about now how you film these amazing videos. How do you have a team with you? How do you capture all of the content that you've shared of you and teaching your young family?
Over the previous winters, I've been capturing footage of me skiing with my own children who last winter were age 5, 3, and 1 years old, by using action cameras and by filming myself, or just by getting somebody out on the hill to just grab a camera and film me and just get as much footage as I could. This winter is going to change. I've got a professional camera person who will be following me around, and I'm hoping to make even clearer, better quality footage this winter, and hopefully moving it more onto YouTube as well as Instagram.
I was just rushing through JFK Airport on my way to ski in Utah, and boy, was I glad to have my Diamant boot bag. The airport was an absolute chaos as skiers and travelers navigated the long lines to head off on their winter holidays. Thankfully, I had the ultimate boot bag to make my life easier. The Diamant Weekend Warrior bag is a backpack-style bag that stores my boots and helmet and counts as a carry-on. It's TSA approved, so getting it through security is a breeze. The bag has a spot for everything. I had a full ski outfit packed, as well as space for my laptop, chargers, and toiletries. When I got on board, I slipped the bag into the overhead compartment. I settled in to watch a movie, knowing that when I arrived to Salt Lake City, I didn't have to worry about losing my essential ski gear. And there's even a version with wheels. The Diamant XL is a carry-on boot bag that has winterized wheels for a smooth ride on any terrain. As always, Diamant bags are designed by skiers for skiers with a water-resistant and ventilated boot compartment that keeps my ski boots dry and fresh. Head to diamantskiing.com to get yours. And don't forget, Ski Moms save 20% off the lowest price on Diamant ski bags for your whole family. Just use code SKIMOMS at checkout. Trust me, this bag will change how you travel.
So let's kind of start from the beginning. Do you think that most moms could become good instructors or dads?
I think that if you are a good ski teacher in the first place, being a mum or a dad gives you that extra qualification on top of that when it comes to teaching children. Because when it comes to teaching children, you're not just trying to get them to ski better. You're trying to keep them safe, keep them comfortable, keep them well fed. You're keeping them entertained and you're keeping them loving this sport. With your own children, it may be that your experience with children who are having temper tantrums, for example. I find that with other people's children, they tend to not do that with me, but my own children do that with me for sure when I'm skiing with them. And maybe this is also one of the reasons why I always recommend that if you can get somebody else to ski with your children, it is best to do that because they're far less likely to have temper tantrums with other people than they are with mum and dad. And my children surprise me that when my children ski with me, they can't put their own gloves on, or they can't put their own skis on, or they can't clip up the clip on their helmet. But as soon as they ski with someone else, they can do it all. It's amazing.
Amazing. So let's say we are heading to France and we've signed up for lessons at a ski school with a professional instructor for our young ones. Is there anything we can do as parents, heading to ski school the night before the first lesson, the morning of, to set them up for success and make sure that these, are the youngest members of our family are going to start their ski journey off in the right way?
This is a really good point, and it's something that I talk with all of my clients through before I ski with them, is how to prepare their child to ski before they even arrive in the ski resort. Now, the ways that we can do this are starting at home, as simple as buying ski-related books, okay? Showing your children what skiing is through books. If you have old family footage of you guys skiing and enjoying skiing, absolutely show that to your children too. That is really going to help. The other ways that we can help prepare a child at home would be just talking about skiing and talking about it in the most magical way. We've got to show our children how excited we are about skiing. If we want them to be excited about skiing, we've got to talk about it first in the most magical way that we possibly can in order for them to buy into that. Another way that I really like to help get children ready for skiing is getting them into other sports first. So this could be roller skating, riding their scooter, being on a balance bike, swimming, rock climbing. Anything that takes them into a new environment and puts them into new equipment will help prepare them for their first ski experience. And we can even go as far as buying them some little baby plastic skis and putting them in their snow boots in the home and playing games with them wearing these baby skis. This is something that I really love to promote because it's something that I've done with all of my children. Is I've started them skiing at home on the carpet by pushing them around, making them jump up and down on the sofa. We just have fun with it and we play at home. We can get them used to wearing their helmet, their goggles, their gloves, their ski boots, even their ski suit while they're at home before you even reach the ski resort. I do sometimes see children who arrive for ski lessons with me and their parents haven't put in the time at home first and they refuse to wear the gloves. They refuse to wear the sunglasses. They don't want to put skis on because they feel stuck in them and they don't know that it's playtime. But if you can show them that skiing is fun, that this equipment is comfortable, and skiing is playtime first at home, then you set your children up for success by the time that they reach the ski hill for the first time.
That is such wonderful advice. And let's say my tip would be, let's say that you're a family that does have to rent gear. And you're going on location somewhere, I would always rent the day before. Number one, it takes the stress out of the morning of trying to figure out your rentals. But if you're going to be on location the day before, get your rental set up. And again, in the hotel room or in the ski home that you're renting, find a little carpeted area and let the kids tromp around in the boots and see what it feels like to click in and click out of the skis and hear the noise and feel all of the things. And even if you take half an hour, to your point, Tori, to experience what this is like, it's going to make the next morning so much smoother. And kids are curious. They have so many questions. What does this do? What does that do? What does this feel like? And you're not going to feel that stress and that rush if you're doing it at home. And maybe you've got a cup of tea and maybe there's music playing and you're just making it part of the whole experience, this introduction to the gear.
Absolutely. You're so right. It can literally start the night before, just hiring that equipment just the day before and just playing with those skis in the ski hotel before you get to the ski hill. It doesn't have to be months in advance. If all you can do is do it the night before, then that is something, and that will really help too.
Obviously, you're a professional. You're also a professional mom, 4 kids. I mean, kudos to you. Is there an age that you feel like is the sweet spot with toddlers? So 11 months old, is that it? They need to be 11 months, or does it depend on their coordination, how strong their legs are, other things like that?
So when to introduce skiing for a child is very unique to each child, okay? Every child is different, and every child for sure can start skiing at a different age according to them. I quite often find that the child that is ready to try a little bit of sliding on snow is the child that is climbing everything. The child that is jumping on everything, the child that wants to try the balance bike, wants to try the scooter. That is normally the child who will do well for the first time on skis. However, we can introduce skiing right from the start, even before they start doing this. And this is my message that I want to get out, is that with my children, I've started introducing skiing to them from as soon as they were born. So when they're newborn babies or little babies, maybe I just got their skis out in the house and I'm just showing them to them and I'm letting them touch them. I'm letting them play with the ski helmet, see the goggles, reading them books like we spoke about before, watching some ski videos. And then once you've got a baby who's, a bit more adventurous, maybe they can't even walk yet, but you can still have some little plastic skis and you can put them in those plastic skis with some soft slippers on. And we're going to be really, really careful and gentle here. And I'm talking maybe like a 2-minute session, but you might just put them on them and just let them have a go at just walking around in them. But for sure, it's that child that is jumping, running, climbing, that experienced toddler is the one who's really going to do well when it comes to introducing them to the real kits. So the actual skis starting at 67 centimeters and the actual real stiff ski boots who are starting at Mondo point 14.5, 15.5. So it's that experienced toddler that's going to benefit most from that. And I have seen that as young as 14 months old. And for sure, these children are maybe a bit stronger for their age and they're a bit more robust and ready to go for their age at 14 months than the average 14-month-old. But I definitely find that children are ready to give it a go most children are ready to give it a go at just sliding on skis in the real kit in the ski resort between 18 to 24 months for sure. Some more towards 24 months for sure, but they can at least do something and be involved in it. Now, if we are expecting them to start controlling their speed and to start turning, then you are expecting way too much. Our aim at this point is to involve them in this sport and include them in skiing and let them experience what it's like to slide on skis, wear the equipment, be in the ski environment. We are not trying to teach them to ski at 18 months old. We are just including them in the joy and the pleasure of skiing.
I'm so glad that you spelled that out. So we tailor our expectations to the age of the child. So it's more of like another way to play versus, okay, you're going to learn to ski. You're learning to love skiing versus learning skills. What about the stamina of that age, and what expectations of how long we can expect them to be able to stay out on snow or do one particular activity?
Hey, Ski Moms! We're thrilled to be partnering with Ulster County this year to bring you 4 seasons of family travel inspiration. Nestled in the stunning Hudson Valley of New York State, Ulster County is your go-to destination for outdoor adventure all year long. And when it comes to planning your winter getaway, this spot truly delivers. Let's talk about Bel Air Mountain, a ski resort that has thought of everything, from their expanded base lodge and standalone equipment rental center to the beginner-friendly area on top of the mountain. Yep, you heard that right. Bel Air makes hitting the slopes a breeze for newbies and seasoned pros alike. Looking for thrills? This is home to the only gondola in the Catskills and the longest vertical drop in the region. Oh, and if Mother Nature isn't cooperating, no worries. 96% of the terrain is covered by top-notch snowmaking. Looking for even more winter fun? Rocking Horse Ranch has you covered. Picture this: a beginner ski hill, snow tubing, ice skating, and a winter fun park all in one spot. And if you're feeling adventurous, how about a horseback trail ride through the snowy landscapes? It's like a winter wonderland on horseback. Get all the details and start planning your Ulster County adventure at visitulstercountyny.com. That's visit ULSTER countyny.com.
So this is really important when it comes to toddlers and skiing, that if you take a toddler to the ski hill and they put on the ski boots and they don't want to put on the skis and they've had a look around the ski resort and they're done, then that is progress for them. They have put ski boots on and they've been in the ski environment. That is progress. Okay. Now, if your toddler comes the next time to the ski hill and they put the skis on, they have them on for 2 minutes and they want to take them off, that is progress. It has to be. You have to be okay with them quitting it after 5 minutes if that's what they want to do. We can encourage them for sure. I would only say you encourage them once or twice, but that toddler needs to know that they are the boss and that when they say that they're done, that their mum, their dad, their ski instructor will listen to them and they'll be done with it, because they know that the next time that they come back to skiing, when I say I'm done, they listen to me. They listen to me, and that's important.
We're giving them agency in the process, which is really important for toddlers, for their own development, to, be the boss of their body. We're expecting them to do this thing for a lifetime, and we've got to give them the capacity to do it at a pace that works for them.
It's so much to ask for a toddler to, 1, be in this new equipment, 2, be in this new environment, 3, be left with somebody new to them and expect them to participate in that completely for like an hour session or an hour and a half session. So I always explain to people that I ski with that our session may be an hour or an hour and a half for a toddler, but a lot of that is just going to be play. It's going to be showing them the skis. It's going to be having fun. It's going to be like, hey, let's like take a loop around the magic carpet because it's like a fun thing to do. It's introducing them to the ski environment. And like you made a really good point there, that when we introduce a toddler to skiing, we don't want them to do it for that hour session or that hour and a half session. We want them to do this for the rest of their childhood and have this as a skill that they carry into their adult years. So we've got to look after that, and we've got to be really careful with that child wants to come back and do the next session again the next day. That's the most important
Yeah,
thing.
it's like a little flame you have to protect from getting blown out. So you've got to be really careful with it, that it gets, the right amount of things put on it so it grows nicely. Are there any tips for gear or things? I mean, I love that you have treats and stuffed animals. Those are two good things to bring along when your kid is taking these lessons early. I heard you mention edgy wedgie before. For people that don't know, can you explain what that is and what it does?
So an edgy wedgie is a clip that clips onto the front of a young child's skis, and it helps to encourage their tips to stay together and encourages them to perform the snowplow position. Do you call it a snowplow where you are?
We do call it a snowplow. I mean, you will also hear frequently in the United States French fry and pizza wedge. I don't know if there's a similar language, but pizza wedge is the snowplow. And often at ski schools, you'll see a picture of a pizza on a carpet. So before the kids go out, they give them the visual of, okay, this is the triangle shape you're going to make with your skis to slow you down. And then the French fry is go. So green is the French fries. Red, the stop sign, is pizza wedge. I don't know what you would say in France, but that's what most instructors use in the US.
So I like to use the word triangle when I'm skiing with young children, because I feel that triangle is a shape and children get really excited by shapes. So I'll quite often say triangle or arrow. I think that these work really well with children. So going back to the edgy wedgie, this ski tip attachment is going to encourage them to make that wedge shape, that triangle shape, that plow shape, by keeping their tips close together. Now, it's a really helpful aid, but it's really important that it is not used too soon or too often. What we want to do is we want to create natural skiers who are free to move and free to move their feet individually. And as soon as you use that ski tip attachment on the front of their skis, you're almost pinning them into a position. So I feel myself that I use it as minimally as I possibly can. It's a very useful tool, but I see people clipping it on their child's skis and thinking that is just a magical thing that is just going to help their child to ski. It's not the answer, and it's not the solution unless you're using it in a clever way. So first of all, you want to be choosing terrain that maybe they don't need it, first of all, to start off with, that they can start to create those positions themselves. If you start to move on to some steeper terrain, then maybe it can help them to maintain this plow position that they've already learned how to do a little bit. We don't want to introduce it too early before they've figured out some things for themselves. And we don't want to use it too often because, like I say, it stops them from developing natural skills to be able to move themselves. So it's important that we use these things as an aid and not as a device.
We were talking a little bit about how vocabulary is different between the US and Europe. Have you skied much in the US? How would you compare the family experience between what we have here and what you have there?
I don't have a huge amount of experience of skiing in the US, but from what I understand is that in France, we as ski teachers have to get a ski diploma in ski teaching, which normally means that a ski teacher that you employ in Europe or France, at least, it's their career that they've chosen to do. It's not something that they're doing for a season or as a holiday or a gap year. It's their career. So I kind of feel that maybe the level of expertise in Europe can be a little bit higher. I've also heard people say that lift passes in Europe are a lot more economically priced than they are in America. And in some cases, people are finding the cost of a flight over to Europe, inclusive of that price, it can work out at a similar price to ski in the US as it can be to ski in Europe. And if you find yourself in that position, then absolutely come over to Europe and give it a go. Try some of our big ski resorts here, like Chamonix, Courchevel, Val d'Isère, Tignes. And I think that you'll really enjoy the experience here.
And I'm going to guess the food is a lot of the high-end resorts are working on it. But my limited experience with skiing in Europe, the food is absolutely delightful. And it also has tremendous character. And it's just part of the experience. Like, you want to stop and have a beautiful lunch when you're skiing in Europe.
The French are all about their lunches. They take 2-hour lunches with wine. It is what they do here. Lunch is a massive part of the lifestyle here in France, and it's time that you spend with your family. So this does move on to when you're on the ski hill, you can quite often expect some really nice restaurants on the ski hill in the biggest ski resorts. They'll offer you some really fancy food. There's also obviously your lower budget, quicker and faster, easy places to get food as well. But if you want to experience that dine-in experience in France, on the mountain with a panoramic view and exceptional service and food, Europe is your place to do it.
See, that is why I need to spend more time in Europe, Tori, skiing. So it's definitely part of my my game plan in the next 10 years. We always like to wind down asking about what how a ski day ends in your family. What does après ski look like for you and your family?
I am very much a screen-free parent. Generally, Monday to Friday, we don't have screens in our house. At the weekend, my children are allowed to have screens, but we go skiing first. So for my children, at the end of a ski day, it's screens, unfortunately. They want to get home to their iPad that they've not had all week, and they'll be allowed an hour on that at the end of a ski day. So for us, when skiing is our life and it's our everyday and it's what we do, it's not going out to a bar or out to a restaurant or anything fancy. It's very normal. It's going back to our family home, which is right in the center of the resort. And it's chilling out as a family and making some nice food into the evening.
Do you treat yourself to a cup of tea or a glass of wine or a hot bath while the kids are online?
I'm quite into cooking, so I really enjoy cooking good, healthy food and really good, healthy meals. So I find that that's probably what I'll be doing at the end of a ski day. Sorry, that's not very exciting.
It doesn't need to be exciting. It's just your particular rituals, and we love hearing what works for different families in different places. And it's very different, I think. To your point, this is your job. This is your lifestyle. Is not we're not talking about a trip to the mountain here and there. This is your day in and day out. So we are so grateful for your tips, and that you do share your journey. I think that by seeing the successes you've had with your young kids and the reality, some days are not perfect. Some days you're one of your kids isn't feeling it, and you're very honest about that too.
Yeah, I really like to include as much real life in my social media as I can. And sometimes that's not easy, because sometimes if my child's having a tantrum and I get the camera out to start filming them, it doesn't feel right to me. It feels like that's their private moment and I shouldn't really be filming that. But for sure, it absolutely happens to me, even as a professional. Skiing with my family can sometimes be not fun. And it's really important to know that skiing with children, especially, only your own children, sometimes you go out skiing and it's not fun. You're not having a good time and you just need to go home. But some days it makes up for it 10 times over. And to be able to watch my children growing up on skis, from babies to my oldest son now being 18 years old, he does backflips, he competes, he's free with the mountain, he plays with the mountain. You can see that he was born there and it's his playground and it's what he does. And to be able to experience that with my children, it makes up for any of those days that we don't have fun 100 times over. It's just the most magical experience, and it's exactly how I want to live my life, skiing with my children and sharing my passion for skiing with them that started for me at such a young age. I wish it could have started earlier than 6 years old, but for me it started at 6 years old, and it's just an absolute pleasure of a lifestyle to be involved in, and I feel so blessed and so thankful every single day.
Tori, thank you so much for sharing your story. And I encourage everybody to head to @tori.ski to learn more. And if you can book early, try to make an experience happen for you and your family when you're in France with Tori.
Thank you so much for having me talk on your podcast. It's a message that I just really want to get out to all families, that you can start introducing skiing to your child, introducing your passion for skiing to them as soon as they're born, just in small ways. Start small, and you will build a child that will turn into an adult that will just have a lifelong set of skills to be able to explore a whole mountain. And it starts the day that they're born.
We want to take a moment to remind you about the Ski Moms discount page on the skimoms.co website. We've collaborated with our favorite brands to bring you a ton of money-saving deals. For instance, we have a special link for Ski Butlers for 20% off your family's gear rentals. Ski Butlers delivers your rentals right to the living room of your condo or rental home or the lobby of your hotel, saving you hours of time. You'll never have to wait in a long rental store line at the base of the mountain again. When you use our links and codes, you not only save a bundle, you're also sending a message to the brands about the purchasing power of the Ski Moms. Head to www.theskimoms.co/discounts to take advantage of these special offers. Hey, Ski Moms, we hope you enjoyed today's episode and got some great tips for your next family ski adventure. If you had as much fun listening as we did making this episode, we'd love for you to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on our latest episodes. And don't forget to rate and review us. Your feedback helps us bring you more of the content you love and helps other ski moms find our podcast. Plus, we love hearing from you. So whether you're on the slopes or just dreaming of your next snowy getaway, stay connected with us. Follow us on social media, share your favorite episodes with your friends, and let's keep this awesome community growing. Ski Moms, let's talk about staying warm and packing smart for your ski trips. Whether you're hitting the slopes in New Hampshire or Vermont, or heading out for a big trip to the Rockies or Lake Tahoe, Ski Haus has everything you need to gear up for the season. From top-of-the-line ski and snowboard equipment to cozy base layers and insulated outerwear, Ski Haus is your one-stop shop for the whole family. Don't let freezing fingers or soggy socks ruin your trip. Grab essentials like waterproof gloves, moisture-wicking socks, and heated boot liners. And if you're planning a trip, their expert staff can help you pack smarter with space-saving gear and multi-purpose layers that'll keep you comfortable in all conditions. With locations in Massachusetts and New Hampshire, Ski Haus is ready to keep your family warm, stylish, and slope-ready. Stop in today or visit them online at skihaus.com to get prepped for your next adventure. Pick from 3 locations, Woburn and Framingham in Massachusetts, and shop tax-free in Salem, New Hampshire. Check them out at skihaus.com. That's skihaus.com to find your nearest store.